In the future, aliens conquer Earth and grant humanity everything they've ever dreamed of. By 2036, an alien race known as the VUV takes over Earth. This leads to widespread unemployment and homelessness within human society. The VUV try to convince people that their arrival will benefit humanity and lead to progress, though in reality, the aliens are slowly destroying human civilization. Adam Campbell is a young artist who, even before the first contact with aliens, began painting pictures based on the life of his family. Alongside his lawyer mother, Beth, and younger sister, Natalie, they live in their home, which they miraculously managed to keep. However, under the new regime, they struggle to make ends meet as Beth lost her job. One morning, Adam waits for the perfect lighting to begin a new painting, while Natalie tends to her improvised garden at the bottom of the former pool. The girl is attempting to grow real food since the aliens only provide artificial products to Earth. As soon as Adam captures the right lighting, a floating city of the VUV hovers above their house. From their reaction, it's clear that such cities frequently drift over Earth, and the sight has already become tiresome for them. Later, Adam heads to school, where the entire curriculum is now focused on VUV culture. During an English literature class, the students are forced to wear special devices, called nodes, attached to their foreheads, as a propaganda presentation is shown. The VUV claim that before their arrival, humans spent most of their lives working, lacked advanced technology, and were steadily destroying the environment with industrial waste. It turns out that the VUV reconnaissance fleet has been monitoring Earth since 1953, gathering fascinating information about humanity. During the first contact 5 years ago, many world leaders opposed the alien occupation. However, several business leaders believed that cooperation with the VUV would be highly profitable and agreed to all the invaders' terms, which included providing food to the people. After watching the presentation, the students remove their nodes and prepare to return to their lesson. But suddenly the teacher announces that, from now on, instead of English literature, they will study the culture and history of the VUV. He sadly confesses that he's being retired, losing his already meager salary, and replaced by nodes. Soon after, during an art class, Adam notices a new classmate named Chloe Marsh. She immediately catches his attention, and he nervously approaches her. During the break, Chloe reveals that her family once lived in a nice house in the suburbs, but the VUV built their luxurious complex right above it. The aliens forced them to sell their home, but the money barely covered the gas to move in with her uncle. Recently, her uncle's house was flooded, and Chloe and her family had to move out. Now, they are scraping by, staying in motels and sometimes sleeping in their car. Suddenly, their conversation is interrupted by the sound of a gunshot. It turns out that the literature teacher couldn't cope with the loss of his job and the invasion of the VUV, so he decided to take his own life. As Adam watches the police arrive at the scene, he asks Chloe if they found a place to stay for the night. The girl hesitates and says they'll figure something out. Suddenly, Adam invites her whole family to stay at his house. That evening, Adam's family gathers around the table, along with Chloe, her father, Mr. Marsh, and her older brother, Hunter. Mr. Marsh thanks Beth for the hospitality and assures her that they used to live comfortably as well. Chloe admits that it's a real pleasure to have dinner at an actual table and eat real food. But Hunter sharply remarks that the food isn't real and is printed from synthetic fibers on something like a 3D printer. Suddenly, Natalie asks how long they'll be staying with them, and Adam declares that he's allowed the Marsh family to stay as long as needed, without consulting his mother. Mr. Marsh assures them that once they have money, they'll pay for rent. However, Beth clearly isn't thrilled by the idea, as Adam originally said they would stay just for one night. Later, alone in the kitchen with Adam, Beth asks why he invited the Marsh family to their home. Adam explains that otherwise, they would have had to sleep in their car, and since there's space in their basement, they can help them out. The next day, Chloe suggests that Adam go with her to the landfill where the VUV dispose of unwanted items from their floating cities. The two of them search for anything intact that might be worth selling. During their conversation, Adam recalls his father, a real estate developer. Once, the VUV offered him a contract to design housing for humans in one of the floating cities, but he turned them down due to unfair terms. Afterward, his father left the family and moved to California. For a while, he sent them money, but then he disappeared. Meanwhile, Adam starts sketching a portrait of Chloe. While she awkwardly poses for him, back at home, Adam shows her the completed drawing. The painting impresses Chloe, and she thanks Adam for everything he's done for her family. The couple almost shares a kiss, but they are suddenly interrupted by Mr. Marsh. The next day at school, Adam and Chloe try to sell some items they found at the landfill, but no one is willing to spend their last money on random junk. Chloe is upset that she couldn't make any money for rent, but Adam reassures her that it's okay. Suddenly, Chloe suggests they do joint broadcasts, setting up their nodes so that the VUV can watch them on their dates and pay to view. This idea leaves Adam puzzled, and Chloe explains that the VUV don't have dates or romantic relationships. They reproduce through budding. Human relationships intrigue them, and they enjoy observing couples because they can't experience anything like it themselves. Adam is apprehensive about the awkwardness of being on camera and wants their relationship to develop naturally, but Chloe insists that the broadcasts won't interfere. the couple goes for a walk, attaching the nodes, which record everything happening around them and even track changes in their bodies. Adam and Chloe try to act as naturally as possible, and the number of viewers of their broadcasts gradually grows, bringing in more and more income. Soon, the couple can afford to treat their families to real food, and their parents praise them for their initiative. However, even during the family dinner, Chloe and Adam don't remove their nodes. Chloe explains to the alien viewers how important such rituals are to humans, but Hunter and Beth ask them to at least take off the nodes during the meal. After dinner, the couple shares a kiss, and Adam removes his node to spend some private time, but Chloe refuses to stop the broadcast and lose precious money. Adam worries that Chloe is only with him for the money, but she reassures him that there's nothing to worry about. The next day, Mr. Marsh is trying to learn the VUV language in hopes of getting a job and suggests that Hunter join him. Hunter insists that humans will never be able to learn it because it consists of strange rustling and popping sounds that are impossible to reproduce. Suddenly, they're interrupted by Beth, who notices that her computer is being used without permission. She tells them they should have asked for her approval, to which Hunter responds insultingly, saying that since they don't have their own computer, she should share. Beth, surprised, asserts that she sets the rules in this house and accuses Hunter of rudeness and disrespect. Hunter walks off in silence, while Mr. Marsh tells Beth she shouldn't disrespect him in front of his son. Mr. Marsh begins complaining about life and then claims that Beth is no better than him, so she has no right to dictate how he behaves. His words further shock Beth, and their conversation turns into a full-blown argument. Just then, Adam and Chloe return home, and soon both families start yelling and throwing insults at each other. Beth manages to stop the fight and suggests setting rules for cohabitation to avoid further misunderstandings. From then on, the families begin eating separately. Hunter continues to complain about Beth's behavior, accusing her of arrogance and disdain. He suggests finding another place to live, but Chloe believes they won't find anything better. Hunter disgustedly asks Chloe if she doesn't feel disgusted kissing a loser for money, to which she replies that she genuinely likes him. However, Hunter reminds her that Adam locked their family in the basement, and Chloe seems to start reconsidering her feelings for him. Despite the conflict between the families, Chloe and Adam continue their broadcasts, but no genuine feelings are involved anymore. At the school dance, they try to compliment each other, but Chloe suddenly lashes out at another couple that's streaming their own date. Adam tries to discuss their relationship issues, but Chloe hints that it's not something to talk about during the broadcast. However, Adam insists, and they remove their nodes to talk. But even this conversation quickly turns into a heated argument full of mutual accusations. Still, irritated, Chloe reminds him that they need to return to the broadcast. They put their nodes back on and continue dancing. The next day, they reluctantly hold hands and explain to the viewers how much they enjoy spending time at school. Suddenly, they're interrupted by the school principal, who hands them a letter from the VUV Human Broadcasting Standards Commission. Since the entire document is written in the alien language, Adam and Chloe ask a classmate to translate it. They discover that the VUV have filed a lawsuit against them. The confused couple boards a flying bus and soon arrives at one of the floating cities. They are greeted by a driver who is supposed to take them to a representative of the VUV Commission. Along the way, the man explains that he used to be a neurosurgeon, but now he earns 5 times more than he did in the best hospitals. After a while, the driver stops near a cave and warns them not to look the VUVs in the eyes, as it makes them uneasy. Adam and Chloe crawl through a small entrance and find themselves in the office of a strange creature, which, for the sake of convenience, can be referred to as Shirley. The alien speaks in the mysterious VUV language, clapping its flipper-like hands, while the computer translates the strange sounds into English. Shirley says that the VUVs used to enjoy watching their broadcasts, but now it's clear that they're deceiving the viewers. Adam and Chloe pretend not to understand what deception is being referred to, and Shirley explains that they're pretending to be in love when they're not. Chloe is surprised and asks how they knew, given that human emotions are foreign to them. Shirley explains that they've been studying humans for years, and the lack of feelings between them is revealed through biology. They no longer blush in each other's presence, their palms don't sweat, and their hearts don't race. Adam and Chloe ask how they can fix the situation, and Shirley says they need to return all the money they earned. Adam angrily shouts that it's impossible, as they spent it all to survive, but Shirley insists that if they don't, she will take the matter to court, and 6 generations of their descendants will be forced to pay off the debt. Adam insists they can rekindle their relationship, and Chloe seems to support him. However, she clarifies that they could restart their broadcasts with new partners, which deeply upsets Adam. Unable to resolve things with Shirley, the couple heads back to Earth on a crowded bus. Adam demands an explanation for why she broke up with him without any warning, and Chloe suggests they stay friends and not let work ruin their relationship. Adam, hurt, says they were never really friends and that Chloe just used him for money. She opens up about her difficult life and admits that she's always been willing to do whatever it takes to improve her situation. Back home, Beth reviews the conditions for broadcasting and confirms that the Vov's claims are legitimate. Adam hopes his mother can defend him in court, but Beth advises him not to let it get that far and to try to negotiate once more. At dinner, Natalie shares her concerns about the future of their family, believing that humans have almost no reason to keep going. These words unsettle Beth, and she decides to try to resolve the issue herself. The next day, Beth goes to see Shirley. While waiting for her appointment, she meets Shirley's child, who even lets her shake what they call their hand. When Beth meets with Shirley, she decides to explain that there are many different forms of love among humans, and romantic love is far from the strongest, as the Vovs might believe. Beth argues that a mother's love is far more important and powerful, and the Vovs likely feel something similar for their offspring. Beth tries to play on Shirley's empathy, assuring her that her son's problems hurt her deeply as a mother. Shirley listens with interest, and Beth suggests finding a more acceptable way to settle the debt. Soon after, Beth returns home and shocks the children with the news that Shirley's offspring will temporarily become her husband. The Vov has always watched various broadcasts and old films, and now he wants to immerse himself even further in human culture. Adam and Natalie are not thrilled by the idea. However, Beth explains that this is the only way she managed to withdraw the lawsuit, and as long as Shirley's child is satisfied, they are safe. Beth admits that she doesn't want to live with a Vov either, but they have no other choice. Before long, they organize a modest wedding, and Adam notices that Chloe is streaming with her new boyfriend. At dinner, the Vov struggles to use its flippers to eat, and Beth ends up cutting the food and feeding her newly minted husband herself. Beth then explains that all humans have names and asks to be called by hers. She also inquires what to call the Vov, and it requests to be called father. Meanwhile, the Marsh family continues to live in their basement, but Adam and Chloe barely speak to each other. After another virtual lesson, Chloe tries to talk to him and asks if everything's okay. Still upset with her, Adam walks off without saying a word. When he returns home, the Vov calls him son and asks for a hug, something it had just seen in an old TV show. Adam doesn't want to hug the alien freak and snaps at him. Beth irritably reminds him that their entire life depends on the Vov's happiness. To avoid interacting with the alien, Adam decides to go down to the basement to join Mr. Marsh and Hunter. They drink beer and watch the news, but even there, everything is about the Vovs. They discuss the alien's impact on the economy, with Mr. Marsh believing that competition between humans and Vovs is a good thing. However, Adam points out that eventually, the Vovs will not only compete with humans but will dominate every field. Hunter stirs up trouble again, claiming that wealthy people like Adam's mother have always oppressed them. Adam wants to argue and reminds Hunter that black people have always suffered at the hands of whites, but Hunter simply decides to leave. Mr. Marsh first apologizes for his son's behavior but then, with undisguised envy, says he would give anything for the kind of comfortable life Adam's family has. Later that night, Adam can't sleep and suddenly hears someone sneaking around the house. He cautiously goes downstairs to check and is shocked to find his father. Adam is angry that his father showed up unannounced and had ignored his calls for so long. Mr. Campbell explains that he wanted to get back on his feet first, but none of his business ventures could compete with the Vovs. Adam suggests his father might have had better luck working with the Vovs, but Mr. Campbell declares he'd rather live in a cardboard box than serve those freaks. Mr. Campbell also asks if Beth is seeing anyone, but Adam doesn't know how to tell the truth, so he runs to the bathroom to try to calm down. Mr. Campbell, confused, wanders around the house and accidentally peeks into Beth's bedroom, where he finds the Vov sleeping on her bed. This shocks Mr. Campbell, and when Adam finally emerges from the bathroom, he finds his father leaving again without saying goodbye. The next day, Adam and Natalie head to school, but the principal informs them that the entire curriculum has been uploaded to their nodes, so now they'll be learning from home. Many students are excited about the school closure, but Adam and Natalie realize that this doesn't bode well for humanity. Adam decides to hang out in the schoolyard for a bit and notices that all the windows are being boarded up with plywood. An unusual idea comes to him, and he decides to use the wall of the building as a canvas for his new painting. Meanwhile, at home, Beth is forced to spend the entire day watching TV shows with the Vov. The alien says that he wants to recreate the same life in their family as what he sees on screen. He will be the provider, and the wife should take care of the children and housework. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, and the Vov announces that he has ordered a gift for her. When Beth unpacks the package, she is surprised to find an apron and a wig. It's clear that the Vov wants her to look more like the ideal wife from the TV shows. Soon, Beth is distracted by a phone call. It turns out she had sent a resume to a diner a month ago, and now they're ready to offer her a job. She tells the Vov that she needs to leave for work, but he sits down in front of the door and declares that she doesn't need a job because, in a perfect family, there should only be one provider. Beth irritably responds that he has no right to tell her what to do and that she will do whatever she wants. She snaps, saying that he's not even a provider since Shirley is paying for him. She warns that she won't serve him anymore, and she's no longer afraid of the court, so he can go back to Shirley. Beth returns him to the couch and turns off the TV before leaving. The Vov tries to get back to watching his favorite shows, but his fins make it impossible to press the button. But unexpectedly, Mr. Marsh steps in. Apparently, he heard Beth's yelling and decided to make contact with the influential Vov. That evening, Adam, Natalie, and Beth return home and see that the Vov has now become a member of the Marsh family, with Mr. Marsh dressing up as a wife, wearing the wig and apron. The Campbells watch in surprise as the Vov asks Mr. Marsh to cut his food like last time. They realize that, for the aliens, all humans must look alike, so he doesn't notice the switch. They decide not to interfere with the Marshes and head to one of the rooms to have soup that Beth brought from work. In the following days, Adam continues working on a massive mural titled Life Under Occupation, which reflects all the problems humanity has had to face since the Vov's invasion. Chloe worries that now they have to serve the Vov, and sometimes, to distract herself from her grim thoughts, she secretly watches Adam work. Finally, Adam finishes his monumental piece and steps back to admire it from a distance, but he suddenly trips over the Vov. The alien explains that he wanted to learn more about life on Earth and decided to take a walk, but got lost. The Vov takes notice of Adam's work and asks what its purpose is. Adam isn't sure how to explain it to the alien, so he decides to stay silent. The next morning, Natalie tells Adam that a crowd has gathered outside the school to admire his artwork. When they arrive, Adam discovers that the Vov has brought several of his companions along. Among them is an art expert who asks Adam to explain the meaning behind his piece. Adam says that he wanted to depict the world not how he wants to see it, but how it truly is. He also adds that it's a kind of tribute to human resilience, since people have to overcome numerous challenges due to the Vov invasion. Impressed by Adam's skill, the expert offers him the chance to become the official artist of the Vovs, spreading art across the conquered territory. The aliens offer Adam a one-year contract with a salary of $2.7 million. This news shocks Adam, and the gathered crowd applauds his success. That evening, the Marsh family gathers around the table with the Vov, while Chloe continues streaming with yet another guy, but without success. Meanwhile, upstairs, Beth is thrilled for her son and suggests that they celebrate the occasion with champagne. However, Natalie feels a bit down, not wanting Adam to leave her and her mom, just like their father did. The next day, Adam says goodbye to his family and Chloe, and just as he does, a transport module lands in front of their house. Adam struggles to climb into the capsule, which then transports him to the massive Vov ship in open space. As they move through a dark tunnel, the Vov tells Adam that he will be sent to 12 galaxies, each where he must create one piece of art. Then, the paintings will be reproduced and sent to all allied species to help them appreciate human art. The Vov also informs Adam that he will need to explain his work again, as they have made some minor changes to it. Soon, they arrive in a vast, brightly lit hall, and Adam is horrified to discover that the aliens have moved the entire wall from the school onto the ship and altered all the characters, painting joyful faces and adding grateful remarks. Thus, Adam's artwork has been transformed into a propaganda piece, praising the Vovs. As Adam struggles to process this, hundreds of aliens begin clapping for him. One of them asks him to explain how the arrival of the Vovs helped him overcome the barbaric nature of humanity and create such a beautiful piece. Shocked, Adam can't find the words and then declares that he won't work under these conditions, thus repeating his father's fate. Adam returns to the transport module and heads back to Earth. Hearing the noise, his mother rushes out of the house and finds him. He apologizes for turning down the money and letting them down. Beth and Natalie reassure him, telling him that he hasn't failed anyone and that he did the right thing. That night, Adam can't sleep and heads to the school. There, he finds Chloe, and they both sadly gaze at the destroyed building. Chloe regrets that the Vovs took his work, but Adam decides to create a new piece on another wall. He invites Chloe to join him, giving hope for a possible reconciliation. The future mural is titled Landscape with Invisible Hand. What would you do in a similar situation? Would you agree to work for the occupiers or stay true to your beliefs? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos.